Hello everybody,
Hey, everybody.
Batman Dragon here.
It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm Z3 KO Trinity, and welcome to Arnold Draper.
Arnold Draper Fativan Show.
Yep, the Arnold Draper Fativan Show. ADP.
Yep.
Episode 2. We're
So-
trying to get the live broadcast on the computer so that way we can see your guys' comments.
Alright, so we decided to go live instead of doing it
Episode per episode.
like recorded wise, just because we feel like live is more legit.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're gonna do up in his house, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm goofy as shit. Alright,
And
so.
you guys can't really see anything. There we go.
Okay,
That's
cool.
a little bit better. Until my phone falls and everything goes on to hell.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start by talking about the first topic, which is a very quick topic. It's not like that long of a topic. But so the Game of Thrones Season 7... The Game of Thrones Season 7 finale is tomorrow night. And I know that a lot of people are expecting a lot of deaths to happen because there's not been that very many this season. And I have a feeling that in this last episode there's going to be
Everyone
a
dies.
lot, at least several deaths. And so I want you all, if there's anybody watching, which you're probably not because you don't love us, to comment in the live streams, while it's live streaming, comment and tell me what you think is a potential character that's going to die, as well as any questions you all have, because at the end of the show we are going to answer a few questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see what you all think about who you think is going to die in tonight's Game of Thrones episode, and if nobody comments and says anything, then I'll just tell you maybe one or two characters I believe may die. So, but that's about all I want to talk about Game of Thrones. No spoilers for the season, and no potential spoilers for tomorrow's episode.
Let's
Just
cut
straight
into
to the point.
something even better than Game of Thrones. Game of Throskies.
Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get into what we call mangame, which is we're going to be discussing about Death Note, the new Death Note season, or not season, but movie on Netflix.
Yes, that was one of the coolest
Yes.
things that
Mhm.
came from.
By the way, just to do a quick shout out, my best friend made this for me. She drew and painted it, and it is perfect. I absolutely love it. So I just want to give a quick shout out to my best friend. Thank you so much for making that for me. Light is my favorite character.
And that is one of the coolest artworks
But
I've
we'll
seen.
go ahead and speak about Light, since he is the main protagonist of the Death Note movie, anime, and manga. This movie, I felt, poorly betrayed his character. And the reason why is because the one thing I really, really love about Light is how he is so calm, how he is so precise. He wants to keep everything clean, wants to, he knows what to do, what not to do. I mean, this kid is a freaking genius. But in the movie, when I was watching it, it seemed like everyone else was trying to tell him what to do. Like, Mia was telling him what to do. Ryuk was basically handing the book to him and gave him a pen, like, you see that guy over there? You need to kill him now. And it just, I don't know. It really, really poorly betrayed Light Yagami's character. Oh, my bad. Light Turner's character. Timmy Turner, if you will.
Yeah, instead of very loud parents, you get death gods. There was just too much that they did to the story that didn't do it any favors. Instead, it made it less enjoyable, if you ask me.
We'll take Ryuk's character, for
You mean
example.
Ryuk? Because they changed the way you say his name in the freaking movie.
We're going to take his character for a while. Ryuk doesn't give a shit about anything. Like, he drops the Death Note, comes back 5 days later, finds that Light had wrote so many names in it, and he even tells Light in the anime show, listen, I'm not on neither your side, I'm not either on L's side, You know, I'm basically just here to spectate. I ain't going to help you whatsoever. But in this show, it seemed like he was really just trying to push Light over the edge. I mean, he's like, here's a pen. Here, let me tell you all the rules in the Death Note. I mean, he was really involved. And I know that they had to make changes to fit the entire story in a 1 hour movie, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done better. But enough about bashing it, because I know a lot of people might have actually liked the movie. I completely changed the way I felt about it right when the movie ended. Like, as soon as it was over and it ended, I actually liked it. I thought it ended really cool. It kind of ends with a kind of a cliffhanger for a sequel, if they're going to make a sequel. And no, I am not going to spoil anything in case if you have not seen this. But I personally feel like it was really good, but at the same time, I would prefer to have the perfect story that the anime and mangas are compared to that.
Yeah, I would agree. For me, there was a lot of things they did was not for its own favor. I mean, we all knew whenever America takes over as something that, especially a Japanese anime or manga, and try to turn it into a movie in America, we get a bad result out of it. Dragon Ball Evolution. And
Dragon Ball Evolution.
with Death Note being by Netflix,
that movie don't exist no more.
It doesn't. But see, with Death Note, I at least figured that they would do a little bit better of a job, you know, sticking to the original, because Netflix series have been so good. If you watch a Netflix TV show or a Netflix movie, they do so good. So I thought, well, Netflix has got their hands on it. They're not going to publish shit. Mm-hmm. And so, to me, I felt like they didn't do enough to make the original proud and make fans enjoy what we were getting. And so I think that was a little bit of a downfall for me. A little bit of fun facts about the Death Note Netflix movie. It was directed by Adam Wingard, who is also responsible for the movie You Are Next, the VHS 1 and 2 movies, and then as well as the movie Blair Witch that came out last year. And shout out to Katie Baby 420. We love you too. Glad you're watching with us.
Mm-hmm. If they can see it okay, internet's not being so good today, so hopefully everything is looking okay on your end.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well,
also,
it's pretty blurry, so
yeah.
Hopefully you guys can see it okay.
Well, also the William Dafoe, who plays
Ryuk,
the voice of Ryuk, he is amazing. If you don't know who William Dafoe is, watch the original Spider-Man. He plays Green Goblin, one of the best actors, hands down.
I really loved his portrayal of the character. Like, his voice and actions did a very good job. And I also liked Elle's character.
Yeah, Elle, who is played by Lakeith Stanfield.
I thought it was really cool how he portrayed Elle as more active than what Elle's character really is. Like, and
more emotional.
Elle's more hidden in the background, doesn't want to put himself out there, you know, just kind of a nervous person, that, you know, but a genius nonetheless. But his portrayal of the character is, he's like, "What'd you get, boo boo?" And he's like, you know, at the scene of the crime, making speeches to the public. I mean, he is more active.
Yeah.
And I liked his portrayal of the character. I really did.
And
just Light, I was disappointed with Light, and then Mia, I just don't even want to get into that, because she was more of the Kira than actual Light was.
Which they could have used as maybe a inspiration for him to be like her more, maybe. I don't know. Light Turner, was played by Nate Wolf, Nate Wolf, and whoever that is. But
whoever that is.
Most of the people I didn't recognize other than William Dafoe's voice. As soon as I was watching it, and I was like, "Ha! Green Goblin."
Yeah. But if you guys watch the Death Note movie, let us know what you think of it. And if you have not seen it yet, hopefully we didn't spoil nothing for you.
Yeah.
So
again, please, if you're watching us, ask us some questions, so that way when we get later on down to the show, we have actual questions to answer. I don't want to be depressing and be like, oh, we have no questions.
No questions.
Time to leave. But at this moment, Pure Leaf Tea. Another tea product for you all.
Extra sweet,
to watch
just
the stream.
like me. No sponsoring though.
No spons. We just like drinking tea, and why not do it during our show?
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone needs a break every once in a while.
So, alright guys, moving on to my topic, your topic,
El Manuel's topic.
El Manuel's topic. It is Video Game Center. So guys, we got 3 topics coming at you for Video Game Center.
Z3.
First topic I'm throwing at you boys is...
Not the girls.
And girls. Is the Xbox One pre-orders are officially sold out. You cannot pre-order it in most places. There may be more in the next coming months before it comes out in November. But as of right now, there's no more pre-orders that they're taking, which is depressing.
Yeah, because I didn't get to pre-order mine.
Yeah, of course, the pre-order that they have now, the one that's sold out, is the Project Scorpio edition. So that means that there's probably a separate pre-order for the regular edition.
Just plain Xbox One.
So that makes me a little less worried that maybe if I plan on getting one before November, it's going to be the regular edition. At least it'll still be there. But this is something I think is really cool. They expected to sell out in their pre-orders within a week. They did it in less than a day. Less than a day, they had sold all their pre-orders. The Project Scorpio edition, which has outdone their Xbox One and was even way better than the PS4 Pro. Mm-hmm. So they're already off at a great start, and I think Xbox is going to go back to the top again.
Literally one of the most powerful systems on the planet.
Yeah. Well, that's its statement. It's not sure if it will, but the statement is.
Well, it's not going to be as powerful as actual PC, because PC every day is an update.
Well, console. PC is not a console. It's a separate thing. Something else about Xbox, just to throw out there with this topic, is is that they are ceasing production of the Xbox One original console. So therefore, the only thing you can get right now and from now on is the One S or the One X. So if you have an original Xbox, you're the last people to get it because they're not making them more. Whatever they sell at the GameStops, they are done after that. There's no more production of the consoles. Yeah. The second topic, another pre-order sellout, and that's the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition.
That
pisses me off because
it's very controversial. It doesn't really portray me. I mean, yes, I would like to have it collector-wise, but I was never big in Nintendo when I was growing up. I mean, yes, I had a Nintendo 64, but I was never big with that company. Yeah. So the announcement of this system, for what it is, it doesn't really affect me, but there's a couple of people that I work with who have talked to me about this.
There's me.
And, yeah, there's you. But, anyway, he was telling me, like, he had his pre-ordered all set, and then Walmart pulled a big wiener move and canceled everyone's pre-order. At least, I don't know where you live. They might not have where you lived, but where I lived, apparently they canceled everyone's pre-order. And now my friend is trying his damnedest to get a pre-order for this system, but he's not having any luck. Neither are you?
No, because the GameStop website went down. And every time I keep refreshing it, I would get the... Sorry for this inconvenience. We were refreshing or whatever, and I assumed that's because they were setting the pre-order page up.
When they're sitting there playing the system, squeezing their nipples. Oh, you want the pre-order? Oh, too bad.
Too bad.
That's too bad.
But so when I actually finally got the page to refresh, the first freaking thing that pops up is sold out. I'm like, the hell. You've been down for like the last hour. How are you already sold out?
Probably the employees.
And so I called the nearest GameStop, and of course they said that they only were given like I think 8 or 9 pre-orders, and they were done within the second the pre-orders went available.
And we're taking pre-orders, and we're done.
Yeah, and so for me it's just Nintendo is. See, it'd be different if this was like the Xbox One X. you know we're going to have an Xbox One X restockment of this from now until like the day they make the next console and we're done producing them. This console, this SNES, is basically done at the end of this year. As soon as this year ends, they will not produce any more of them and they're done. And that's a short time period. I mean, how do you expect to sell a product to somebody and to people if you're going to be stingy about it and be like, one or two copies per store? So you're going to have like 100 people who have this thing, and then the rest of us are sitting back being like,
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Exactly. And to me, it's just Nintendo does not know how to sell.
But don't worry, the people that bought like 3 copies, like
for
if
themselves,
one individual bought 3 systems, don't worry, they'll put the other 2 on eBay for like $800 to $1,000, and you can get it that way.
Yeah, and I mean that's basically what they're doing. Is they're like, hey, you know, let's make this product so rare.
Oh, you want the system? You want to pay $1,000?
and then of course there's the whole rumor that they're doing the Super Nintendo 64 console the same way. Don't even bother, Nintendo. If you're going to do this, make enough. Like, come on. Like, don't be like, so freaking stingy on it. Like, it just makes me angry. And I agree, Katie. Mario is awesome, and that is definitely one of the best games in that system. And I agree. That's why I want this thing so bad, because it's got games on it that I love from my past. And not just that, but a game that we never got. Star Fox 2. And so that honestly, if they not put Star Fox 2 there, it'd be not as expensive or popular as what it's going to be. And, you know,
just everyone's milking this cow.
Yeah.
Just milking it.
Milk me with Jacob. Milk with me, Jacob. Milk with me, Jacob.
Let's move on.
All right, never mind. All right. So the next topic and final topic of Video Game Center is a story mode coming on Friday the 13th for Friday the 13th.
Which is why we have these random Friday the 13th DVDs spread out on the table.
Yes. So if you all have not known,
like a digital copy.
The digital copy of Friday the 13th came out back in June, right? Or was it?
Actually, I think it was May.
Back in May.
Sure it's May.
And so they've had this game out for a while, and people have been playing it, and they've been testing it and adding stuff to it and stuff like that. And they're officially releasing the physical disc copies on October the 13th of this year, which is when I thought they were going to launch the official game, but they said earlier. And so there's a rumor. They had stated that they are working on a story mode for the Friday the 13th game. And the rumor is that the game's story mode will launch digitally and on the physical copies the same day on October 13th.
That is if they can get their shit
together. It's a low-funded team. So they are going to have issues. And most likely, they're going to have issues and it probably won't launch with disc copy.
Yeah.
But with the disc copy being made, they have to be a little more careful with what they're doing because, you know, they want to relaunch.
Well, they're also trying to fix so much. They're trying to get rid of hosts because of the host ditching the game and shuts the whole lobby down. They're trying to fix that. And they're just trying to update and give more and more, like there's a brand new map, a brand new Jason, all these extra skins and emojis they're trying to put in the game.
And see, the thing is,
they're just working on every single bit at once.
With the physical copy, though, like, that's something that I want, and that's what a lot of people want, because most of us, even though we are digital owners and the world is going to the digital age, I'm a physical copy person. If you've ever watched my channel, you will see my 63 games physical copies, and I don't like digital. I love my physical copies.
I, on the other hand, am the exact same as him. I like to have a physical copy, but I am a huge Jason Friday the 13th fan. Huge. That's why I'm so damn fat, because I'm a fan.
My biggest point on it is,
when the game came out, I had to have it. Like, I had to have this game.
Yeah, my biggest point on this game, the physical copy, though, if they're going to launch a physical copy, there has to be something with it. If you give us a physical copy, like, what is going to be anything special about it? Like,
I know, if it doesn't give the campaign mode, then what's the purpose in buying it?
Yeah, because it's like...
And speaking of this campaign, the only thing that we really got out of those people were a picture of a barn with the counselors running towards it. It was like a drawn sketch. And it had, quote-unquote, when they first got asked about it, they're like, picture this. Think of it as you're playing multiplayer. Think of that as like Act 4, where everyone's, knows Jason's here, everyone's trying their best to escape. He said, think of the season mode as Act 1. So I'm guessing it's where, everyone's there, no one has a clue Jason exists, and you play as Jason, and you're pretty much doing the same thing as multiplayer, but it does have objectives that you must complete. But that's all that we've gotten. They've never spoke anything more about it. So
yeah. So for me, if the story mode works out the way I'm hoping it does, I would love to see like Friday the 13th through to the last one, and have
I don't think we're getting that.
like somewhat elements of those places, or at least have that feel where like. I don't know. I feel like I don't want a story mode where it's just basically campaign.
What I would like to have is the ability to hide as Jason.
I mean,
like picture Jason's hidden under the bed. I mean, you could watch all the movies. Jason or Jason's mom, even in the first one, hid under bed when the counselors were on it. They wrenched her arm around, put it on her face, and stabbed him from underneath the bed. Yeah. I want something like that. If it's going to start me out as Jason and nobody has a clue that I even exist or am getting ready to kill them, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to have the ability to hide somewhere as Jason, to be able to like surprise motherfucker and then just shank them,
Yeah.
Come out of the water and be like,
but
right in the boobies.
If it's basically the multiplayer but in single player form, to me that's not story mode. You know what I mean? I want story mode to be an actual story. I want to be invested into this story, what's going on, and not just be like, oh, so story mode's single player of the multiplayer. Nice. All right. That's all for Video Game Center, though.
Here's to the future for the Friday the 13th.
Yes, and I guess I'll be picking up the physical copy in October when it comes out. Probably not the day it comes out, unless this guy buys it for me, but other than that, I probably won't pick it up until later. Give us a replica of Jason's mask. Yes! Freaking collector's edition with the replica of his mask. Yeah. Right, that's right, Katie.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be the greatest thing ever with a collector's edition. And just think, if they make a sequel to Friday the 13th, and we get Friday the 13th Part 2. Alright guys, we're going to move on from the Video Game Center and move on straight on to something we did earlier, which is why it took us so long to do After Dark. ADP.
ADP.
Ooh!
You guys will never know the true name of ADP, by the way.
But, so that's why it took us so long to do ADP today, is because we were out doing this. But our next topic is...
It actually stands for Andy Dandy Pandy, but...
Andy Dandy Pandy.
We just keep it that way. But we're going to do a quick movie review on not only this movie, Annabelle, but we just went and saw Annabelle Creation. So we're going to do a quick review on what we thought of those movies.
Alright. Throwing in there real quick. Directed by James Wan, which is one of the creators of Saw.
Produced by James Wan, but the
produced. Sorry, not directed. Produced by James Wan. It's on my facts, and I said it wrong.
It's okay.
Produced by James Wan, which is part. It was one of the directors of the Saw movies,
and
Conjuring, and the majority of those movies that we've watched a lot of.
Plus, he's my favorite director of all time.
It's written by Gary Doberman, who is the writer of the original, and so is the newest one that just came out. And so the first one that came out, Annabelle, was the, supposed to be, oh, this is what happened before The Conjuring. And so Annabelle Creation is what happened before the Annabelle became, before Creation, The Conjuring. So it's like they went backwards. Conjuring, Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, but Annabelle, when we first saw it, I was expecting
also,
more...
just little spoilers right here, just in case we do talk about anything in the movie. Just go ahead and put spoiler there, just in case, so you don't get mad.
Okay, well, so we're going to do a little without spoiler, but we'll say spoiler alert, and then get to it. But the first movie, I was expecting more doll action, because it is about a doll who's, possessed, or has, is a conduit, as they say. And really we got more of a gray, like, demon gargoyle kind of creature. And at first it didn't quite make sense. Like, the movie begins with everyone Peach King, and then the neighbors talk about their, like, daughter running away and stuff like that, and then at night they get murdered by their daughter and her crazy boyfriend, and lo and behold, that's how everything gets started. Apparently the daughter puts her spirit or whatever inside or around Annabelle, and wherever Annabelle, the doll, goes, shit happens.
Yeah.
But I personally felt that the first movie was lacking so much. Like, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it in theaters, because I was going to watch The Conjuring, or after watching The Conjuring, I was like, oh man, if they made a movie about that doll, it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It didn't live up to my expectations.
Because, I mean, part of me when I first watched Annabelle, it was more like, hey, I hope this is this is about the doll, and the doll moves around and it does this stuff. But it was more of a possessed doll by moving the doll around, but the possessed being, possessing being is there too. And I think that takes away from it a little bit, because when you hear Annabelle, you're like, holy this is a doll.
Yeah.
But I guess it's its own little twist, because it's not like every other doll where the doll moves around and goes, eh. But,
What doll does that?
I don't know. But instead, it's, a doll.
Barbie.
It's a doll that is not even doing anything. Because the only thing the doll ever does is just show up randomly, and then its face gets turned sometimes. But that's because the being is sitting there going. You know what I mean? So, and of course, in Annabelle Creation, we actually get to see what this
Annabelle
being
Creation,
looks like.
everything
Comes full circle.
Was a million times better.
Yeah, and so biggest thing I heard people complaining about Annabelle Creation before it even came out was, well, I thought that the origin of it was in the first one. So this origin is another one? What is it? Just two different stories?
Yeah, and they said that they changed the story up on it.
Yeah.
Said that the origin of the doll is where the psycho daughter and her boyfriend kills their parents, and then they die,
and
their
before
soul
she dies,
possesses the doll.
Yeah.
Well, now in this one, it begins with the death of these two people's daughter, which is named Annabelle, and they basically pray to any kind of entity who's willing to help them, and they're like, would you please bring our daughter back? Would you please bring our daughter back? And finally, they started hearing their daughter's favorite song started playing. They started seeing their daughter around. Everything, is all Peach King. But then the daughter asks them if they can live in the doll. And of course, parents were like, "Well, hell yeah! If that's what you're into, I mean, yeah."
Spoilers if you didn't know already.
Yeah, but if sure you knew if you've seen the first one, but yeah, that it actually connects. Like, that both movies actually connect. Like, as soon as this one ends, Annabelle Creation ends, the Annabelle original begins. I mean, it links everything perfectly.
Like, if you literally got them in one set together and you put them in back to back,
and like marathon,
it would go right together.
Yeah, even with The Conjuring, the very beginning of The Conjuring with Annabelle, all three of those link together perfectly.
Now, I don't see them making an Annabelle again from now on, because the thing is, they have to be done with Annabelle. If they don't, it's going to be obnoxious, because the first one, it was right at before Conjuring, and this one was right before the Annabelle, and this is the origin. The doll makers in this movie, and why the doll even began in this part anyway. So, and you can't do anything after the Conjuring, because that doll is locked up in the Warren house.
In the Warren's house.
So there's nothing you can do now. So if they make another one, I'm not going to watch it.
And I want to say one thing. Speaking of the doll itself, I love how they show the original doll in this movie at the very end. It's not very, very end.
Yeah.
But I love how they just show the original Raggedy Ann looking doll.
You know what? They can make another one.
How so?
Because they skipped 12 years from that one part.
Well,
Remember
that
the 12-year skip?
Yeah.
They could easily do something in there.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean...
But don't try to spoil too much.
Yeah. I'm not. But that little 12-year gap that they skipped and they said at the very ending there, I bet you anything that's probably...
Yeah.
They could throw another Annabelle movie in.
But I don't see why they would.
I hope they don't keep milking it.
But another thing I really loved about the new movie is the jump scares were on freaking point. Like,
They weren't even jump
Usually,
scares.
I
They
know
were
this-
just straight up scary.
Yeah, it was straight up scary. Like,
don't say anything though. We want them to actually do it. Like,
yeah, I'm not going to
ruin
ruin nothing for you guys, but I'm just going to say this. I have 3 fears, really, when it comes to horror movies. I have 3 major fears.
Don't say them.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying. I have 3 major fears. All 3 fears were in this movie. One in particular. And I was surprised he was even in the movie. Like, as soon as it was happening, I was in the theaters like, oh, fuck this. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, it was legit scary to me. And I'm used to scary movies. And I was like, oh, shit. I was on the edge of my seat literally the whole entire time. I mean, this movie really did such a good job. It's not just cheesy jump scares. It's not just your typical, I could see this coming a mile away. I mean, it was actually really well thought of, really well put out. Everything about it was just perfect. I love it.
And also, for this movie being solely, like, not solely based, but a lot of it based on the children's acting, the kids in this movie's acting was really, really good.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that the little girl that was in the movie is also the one that played in Ouija Origin of Evil. And if it is, that girl deserves so many awards because she played such a perfect part in that movie.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was great. Alright, so that's...
and also, just one last thing, throw it out there. It does, after watching this movie, I have a newfound love for the original Annabelle. Because the story does connect, it does make sense, and I just love the full story. Yes, the movie still disappointed me in the scares and in the simple fact that the doll had less, or it had less to do with the doll and more to do with this gray demon. But that's my quick review. That's my quick 1 hour review.
Quick reviews!
We'll move on to the next subject.
Alright. On the chart, Jacob, and we've got 3 topics coming at you from on the chart today.
Oh, yeah, and one of them is sitting literally right here. If you guys can't see it, it's right here. If you guys can't see it, he's right there. No, I'm just kidding.
Alright, so
the reason why we have the Joker just kind of there is because Joker is getting his own solo movie.
Yes, which was announced earlier this week. Actually, they announced 2 Joker movies earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
One is a Joker Origins. These aren't really fully announced release movies. These are
just like
in the works by Warner Brothers.
Right
but
now.
There's no filming, there's no announcement of actors, stuff like that.
Yeah, but there is rumored to have Jared Leto as the Joker, though.
Not in the Joker Origin movie. The first one they announced was a Joker Origin movie, which is supposed to be, their take on what the origins of Joker's story would be. It is completely away from the DC extended universe. It has no connection to the Batman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, or nothing. And that's supposed to be its own standalone movie. The other Joker movie that they announced that they're in the works of is a Joker Harley Quinn movie, which is going to be based off of the Harley Quinn and Joker from Suicide Squad. And that will be their own film as well. And that will be connected to the extended universe of the DC movies. So, I like the idea that they're doing a Joker origin movie. Though, I already am going to say, if they do this movie, no one's going to like it. Everyone's going to be pissed off, and I will probably be too. Because you can't do a Joker Origins movie without ruining it. Because that's the whole point of the Joker, is to never know how he became the Joker. And if they basically do a movie where they're like, his name is Henry Boward. Oh, Henry Bauer.
That's from Stephen King's It.
Official, guys.
Oh my god.
Henry Bauer. Stephen King.
He didn't
Joker.
die. He became the Joker.
I don't know why Henry Bauer is the first name that came to mind. But you know what I mean? It's like, if you give a straight...
His name is Steve.
Here's his name. He used to do this.
Comedian.
And it was
if
just,
they're going to do it, at least do it the Killing Joke style.
Yeah.
Like, I think that story was pretty perfect. A guy who's a washed-up comedian, low on income, gets in with gangsters, mobsters, hipsters.
If you didn't know the story of Killing Joke, he just spoiled it for you. But the Harley Quinn, but the Joker Harley Quinn movie that's connected to the Suicide Squad movie, obviously that's going to be pretty good. Even though I don't really like Jared Leto's character, I do like the connection between the two actors that they had in that movie.
But also, Joker ain't the only one getting a standalone movie. It's also Batman as well. I'm guessing that Ben Affleck is still going to play Batman in the solo movie.
Yes, the Batman.
And it was rumored that Deathstroke was going to be the villain of that movie.
That was early on. That was really early on when Ben Affleck was still directing it. The movie is not in production yet. The production for this movie will start in 2018. The movie is still supposed to release in 2018, but it just depends on what gets done within the production time
And I want
period.
to just throw this out there, since we're on the chart about upcoming superhero movies. Venom is also getting his own standalone.
I like how you just move on. We're not even done talking about
I'm just
Batman.
skipping.
Don't be
process.
skipping. No. No. We are not skipping.
Yes,
There's too much to talk about. And that's the whole point of the live, is so we can talk longer. So
okay.
Don't even pay attention. There's no Venom. What Venom? Alright, so real quickly, so Jay can get back to the Venom.
This Venom.
Is rumored to star Ben Affleck as well as the original. Earlier this week they were talking about not being a part of the DC Extended Universe, and so that was a little confusing, but the new director for the movie, Matt, you just drank from mine.
No, I didn't. Yours is right there.
Oh, it looked like you slid mine. But earlier this week they have rumored... See what you do. It was rumored earlier this week that the Batman movie was not going to be a part of the extended universe, but the new director Matt Reeves went on report with whoever he talked to, and said that it would be, of course, connected to the extended universe. What was the other thing about it? That's all I wanted to say about that. Other than, it's still not 100% sure. Oh, you smiling? Yeah,
just listening to you.
But again, there's no 100% sure that it's going to have Deathstroke.
Confirmed Death Note's in the DC universe.
But we will know probably a little bit more about this coming towards 2018. So, And now, Jake, if you can talk about Venom.
But who's Venom? No, I'm just kidding. Venom has a standalone movie. It's rated R. Yeah.
It's rumored to release next year in October.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a comical as well as a horror movie.
Yeah. It's supposed to be, a comical horror movie.
It's what it is people really liked the Deadpool movie and the rated R of Logan. They got a lot of money from those movies. So
and
Marvel Universe wants to keep that up, so they chose Venom to make a rated R, scary-like movie, but he's going to also be comical. Not exactly comical like Deadpool, but it's just going to be a mix between comedy and horror. So that's going to be really interesting. And my cat's about to break down that damn door.
Yeah, and another rumor that came from the Venom movie was that the main actor for the movie who will be playing Venom is Tom Hardy, who, if you don't know who Tom Hardy is, he is responsible for being the person who played Bane in the Dark Knight Rises movie. Dark Knight Rises movie.
Hello, Mr. Isaac. Thank you for joining us.
We're not ignoring y'all's comments. I'm going to go back and talk about what your comments are later on at the very end. So if you're commenting and you're thinking, they're ignoring me, oh God, don't worry, we'll get back to you. I just was hoping to keep
and make
some
sure that you
back.
comment some questions that you would like to know. Because at the end of our show, we're going to be picking through questions and answering a few of them before we close out the show.
And if there's no questions, we'll just go with some of the comments, and we'll talk about about what you all were talking about.
We'll just get up like this and just turn the thing off.
All right, so the next topic is all Jacob and his Chopped 5.
Yeah, I call this my Chopped 5 list. It's a list of horror movie villains. And some of these are mostly what people talk about, but some of these I wanted to throw in there just to talk about them. It's not like a top 5 favorite list or nothing like that. It's just top 5 horror villains that I want to give a shout out to. Number 1, Chucky. He's my absolute favorite. He's what got me into horror movies. That's the very first horror movie I've ever seen in my life. I was about maybe 2 or 3 years old, and I watched that one for the first time, the original Child's Play. It scared the holy hell out of me, but at the same time, I absolutely loved it. Loved the doll thing where the doll was alive. It had such a good story to it. Very, very creepy ending. I loved how it ended. So I want to give a shout out to Chucky. Next up is Jason Voorhees. because I've killed quite a lot of counselors playing that game, and he is just a badass. Yeah. Next up, we got Toby from the Paranormal Activity movies. What do you think of him as a villain, Jeremy?
I mean, technically, if you're talking about horror villains, yeah. I mean,
he's a well-known villain in
he
horror
went
movies,
through
so.
almost more movies than Child's Play.
Yeah, almost.
And I mean, he's a good character, even though you don't see him until the last one, and his appearance looks
you
just.
See his face.
Can we just stop for 5 seconds to talk about how horrible the Insidious Paranormal Activity group are at creating demons? Because the Insidious demon looked stupid. The demon from the Paranormal movies looked stupid when they showed him officially. And the Annabelle, when they showed him, I mean, it just looks like they're Halloween costumes. They don't look scary. I guess that's the point.
Demons aren't supposed to look just like me and you.
They're supposed to look scary. Not Halloween. It's not Goosebumps. Yeah. No offense, are all spooks. Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Don't be mad.
Don't get mad. But yeah.
But next up, we got Krampus, the old anti-Santa. Yeah, I words cannot express this character. I mean, who in their right mind says, "What if we create a Santa Claus that's not as eccentric if they're bad?" It's like, if you're good kids, you might get that bike, little Billy. But if you're bad, Krampus is going to come and stick his finger up. He's going to stick his finger up your bunghole while chewing on your face.
And what's up, horror classic fan? What's up, classic fan?
And what's up, classic fan? And finally, a character that's actually new, but nobody seems to be talking about, the Crooked Man from the Conjuring 2. Remember that little nursery rhyme that the boy who stuttered?
Oh, I love the Crooked Man.
Has that. And he started like deforming and growing.
God. Okay.
I thought that was a badass
Okay, let me just back up a little bit. Back up about my comments about the bad designing of some of those things. That was by far the coolest designed character that group of people made.
Yes, it should be better than Spider-Man 3's Venom. Continue.
But do you agree the Crooked Man's by far the best design that's come out of them?
Yes, the Crooked Man was one of the scariest characters I have seen on TV. And that's all. No, I'm just like, but he's unique. I love the nursery rhyme. They took a childhood nursery rhyme and just made it freaking creepy as hell. And I loved every minute of it. But yeah, that's my chopped 5 list
Karate chop
for this episode. Leave a comment below and see if there's any of your characters that made it to your chopped list.
Alright guys, we have one more topic left. Real quick, if you all have any more questions y'all want to ask for the final section at the very end, we're going to be answering questions. If you have questions left, please put them in the comments, because as soon as we talk about the superhero/villain of the day, we're going to start answering those questions. So if you're just joining in with us, throw a couple questions in there that you have. It doesn't matter if it's about today's topics or anything, just throw it in there so we can answer y'all's questions. And if, this isn't a good way to ask questions, I have set up my own Facebook page that I'm going to go live with tomorrow. And I'm going to post a thing on there for you all to add questions. I'll probably start on Monday and have questions throughout the week so I can pick those questions right before we do ADP. And I know a lot of you all are subscribed to both of our channels. And so he's on his channel and my channel. We'll be filtering those questions through my Facebook page that I'm creating.
Yeah. I really do appreciate you guys for subscribing and just hanging out with us. And I love reading all your comments, whether they're negative or not.
Me too.
I enjoy reading all your comments. We got one question there. What's your opinion on the new Chucky movie?
Well, let's wait.
Oh, I thought this was
no,
question time.
We got one more topic.
Oh, you thought this was question time.
Why do you have to rub your nipples?
I don't know.
Alright, so last topic, and then we're going to start answering some questions. So throw some questions in there real quick.
What are you,
superhero/villain of the day is Spoiler.
Right. No, it's not a spoiler alert. It's actually a character named Spoiler.
Alright, real quick, some facts about Spoiler. Spoiler is the daughter of the supervillain Trickster, who is a Batman villain. And Spoiler became one of Batman's sidekicks, and in more recent comics was a...
Actually, you are wrong. It's not Trickster, it's Clue Master.
Oh
she
my
is
god,
the daughter
Clue
of
Master.
Clue Master. And you call yourself Batman Dragon. Mister, I know everything about
Listen, I got them mixed up. But yes, Clue Master, sorry. I was trying to think, I was like Joker, Trickster, Clue Master, which one was it? And it's one of them. Obviously, I knew it wasn't the Joker.
Is it Clue Master or Bader-tastic? I know, it's Masturbator. No, I'm just
But, spoiler, was a superhero, was a sidekick to Batman, turned villain now?
Oh yeah, and
like,
a comic book that came out last week, which I haven't got comics yet, apparently she doesn't really agree with Batman's ethics anymore. She wants to do her own thing, make her own name, still kind of find her character. Jesus Christ, Link, calm down. Don't break the door down. She's wanting to define herself, you know. She doesn't want to help people like Batman helps them. She wants to do it her own way. So, she actually teamed up with the villain known as Anarchy, because she actually agrees with the way Anarchy thinks. He's wanting to help people too, but in a different way, in a more villainous way, actually. But yeah, in the newest comic that came out, her and him are teaming up. So picture this. Last week we chose Harley Quinn, which was a villain turned hero. Now we got Spoiler, who was a hero turning villain. Ain't that cool?
It is. And it's not the first time that one of Batman's sidekicks has become something that's not what he is. Because, you know, obviously Jason Todd's Red Hood is nothing that Batman trained him to be. So, I mean, she's not the first, but it just shows that not all of Batman's sidekicks stick with his same mentality, because most of them grow to have their own opinions and their own beliefs. I mean, it's just cool. But this is the first time it's been villainous, because even Red Hood was not a villain. He did kill, but he did it for the right reasons.
Oh, and the reason why she's mostly called Spoiler is because she spoils the villain's plans. Like, they plan to do some kind of attack and get money from these people, and then all of a sudden she's like, spoiler alert, and basically ruins their plan. That, or she goes on Twitter, yes, she's a Twitter character, and like uploads, hey, these guys are going to rob the bank tomorrow, hashtag stop them, hashtag get over here now.
We have a request, Jacob. You have to rub your nipples again.
Oh, come on.
Jacob?
They're done red! Why did they turn red? This was not red enough!
Alright.
Please subscribe to Batman Dragon!
Oh,
okay.
God.
Okay.
Alright, guys. We're going on to the question section.
Alright, let's see if we got some good ones.
Alright, so we're going to go up here.
Go back to Isaac's there. The one I read first off. What's your opinion on the new Chucky movie? I have two opinions, actually. Thank you for making another Chucky movie, because I am a huge fan of Child's Play movies. Except for Seed of Chucky. That one's crap. At least in my opinion, it's crap. You guys might have liked it. I just personally didn't. But The Curse of Chucky was absolutely amazing, and it too was a straight-to-DVD. It was no theater or nothing like that.
So the newest
one, I think that the story was great. I love how Brad Dourif's daughter plays in it for the first time. You know, dad and daughter working together. So yeah. I thought that was cool, and she's coming back for this new one.
The newest one's called The Cult of Chucky, right?
Cult of Chucky.
Cult
yes.
of Chucky. Okay, that's what I thought.
And
it definitely
also,
looks so
I love
intense.
that they brought back the same actor that played the little boy in the original Child's Play movie. He's going to be in this one as well. So I'm really excited about it, but at the same time, I'm also not that excited, because when you stretch something out so much, eventually the story loses what it needs to be, and it becomes lame. Like the Paranormal Activity movies. Like, they were so good, like, up until, like, 4, and then they just stretched and stretched and stretched, and then afterwards they're like, well, shit, we don't want to do this no more, so let's come up with the most idiotic way to end the whole series. You know, Toby's alive, he killed everyone, the end.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that that's going to happen with this movie. I'm afraid that it's just going to ruin a story that they've already had pretty much perfected.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
So another question we have was, how excited are y'all for It? So, I don't know if you're saying, or how excited are y'all for the It movie, but I think where he originally was talking about Venom, I think he's asking us how excited we are about the Venom movie.
I think that was, yes.
But I'll answer both. How excited am I for It? Really excited. September 8th, I'm going to be watching the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, me, him, and my friend Bobby, you guys know him as LD God 123.
And LD God will be on the channel, that ADP episode, to talk about
he is going to be
the
staying with us for quite some time.
Yeah. And if you were actually asking us how excited we were about the Venom movie, I'm super excited because I hope there's no Spider-Man. I hope it's straight up just Venom. And that will be great for me, and I would love to see a horror-style version of Venom because he is so demonic.
I think if they're going to do a Venom movie, they should at least have Carnage in it as well. Like, I think that symbiote versus symbiote clash in the first movie, I think that would be badass as hell.
So Katie she already knew what your all-time favorite villain was. She's out here. What's your favorite movie in the Conjuring / Annabelle franchise? So, are we talking about the whole James Wan movie collection, or are we just talking about Conjuring and Annabelle? Because if it's everything, that's a lot of movies.
Actually, well, depending...
I mean, look at this. I have a whole list of them. It's a whole lot of
James Wan,
movies.
Anything he does, I love.
Oh my god, The Nun.
Yeah, he's coming out with The Nun.
Oh god, Insidious Chapter 4.
Yeah.
Doggy Heaven?
But anyway, to answer your question about the Conjuring to Annabelle franchise, I still have to give it to the first Conjuring. Yeah. That movie was so perfect and so well done. It's a masterpiece. It's truly a masterpiece. Annabelle 2, or Annabelle Creation, is also another very, very good movie, but I personally am going to have to go with Conjuring 1.
Conjuring 1, definitely. That's the first time I actually was jumping in the movie theater watching the movies.
That's one of the first times with a paranormal movie that I actually stood and was clapping because it was so good. I love the happy ending. I love everything about it.
Have you ever seen the horror movie Black Sheep? I don't think I have.
That's the one where that sheep goes rogue, or all the sheep go rogue and kill people, I think. It's like a B-rated horror movie.
I have no idea. I've never seen
Black Sheep. No, we have not seen that movie. I want to, though. B-rated movies are my style. I love the B-rated movies!
Another question about Isaac Dunn. Have you seen the new The Mist series on TV?
No, but Netflix? I want to so bad.
Wait, I don't know anything about this. There's a Mist
series
coming.
They made a TV series of The Mist. It's not going to be...
Wait, is it already on Netflix?
It might... No, I don't think it's on Netflix, but I think... I'm not sure what channel it is, though. You might have to look up later on. I'm about
to look up right now.
But it's a more in-depth story. It's more dragged out than what the actual movie was. I remember us talking
about them. I remember me and you actually talked about the Mist TV series a while back. I remember us talking about that, but I don't...
Yeah. I haven't got a chance to really watch any shows lately. Same with Mr. Mercedes. I'd love to see the Mr. Mercedes show.
I'm so far behind. Yeah, the season's out.
Links.
Yeah, it's been on. They actually just finished season 1.
Mr. Linkers.
Yeah, the Mist TV series. It's been on since August. No, earlier. June 22nd. Yeah, they already went through the whole season.
Oh, damn. There's only 10 episodes?
10 episodes so far, and some comments are asking if there should even be a season 2. But yeah, the season finale just ended. So yeah, I didn't know that was out already. So, I mean... Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to watch that. Me and you both will, so we can talk about it.
And you guys be sure to look for my Stephen King book versus movie on The Mist. I'll do an in-depth talk on that as well. Is there any last minute questions before we end the show?
Have you finished the Dark Tower book you were reading? I wasn't sure which one, Jacob.
I am reading the very first one, The Gunslinger. And I am 60 pages away from completing the book. And I will go ahead and give just a little tiny pinch of my thought on it. So far, compared to the movie that I saw in theaters, there is no connection whatsoever besides the characters. Like, I mean, it's really, really different. Well, I don't know whether it's because it's just the first movie. I don't know if this movie in theaters that I saw is actually all 7 or 8 books into one story. But I'm going to keep reading them and give book reviews. Not really book versus movie until I know the full detail.
Alright, so...
But I got 60 pages away. It's coming very soon.
Katie threw a question out there to us. What is your thoughts on remade movies?
If they do it right, then yeah, I fully agree.
So,
they should remake some movies.
Remade movies. So
I mean,
for
take
me...
Stephen King's It, for instance.
Yeah. For me, remade movies give a chance for someone else to take an original idea and do it their way. So,
we'll go ahead and
a good example would be how Stephen King's It's going to be. The original movie was hilarious. It was good, and I loved the whole thing. I have to say, the newest one that's coming out is going to be by far the best version of the two.
Yeah, and also Friday the 13th remake right here. This was also a very, very good movie.
But there's also some very good examples of how remade movies don't work.
Like Children of the Corn, when they remade it to Stephen King's exact story of the book.
Or the remake of The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that was
which
bad.
was weird. And the one that hasn't even come out yet that we're not even mentioning, and that's the Jumanji.
Yeah, that's a complete different story.
I mean, Jumanji, because of Ben Affleck, really, Jeremy? Because of Rob Williams,
in the movie.
That's why that movie was so good.
That, and it was like a horror type genre as
so
well.
turning into a video game, it just became a straight up comedy with The Rock,
action.
Kevin Hart, and Jack Black. And anytime you throw Jack Black into a movie, it usually sucks, unless it's Goosebumps. The Goosebumps movie was actually pretty good.
I loved it.
But remade movies do well. I honestly think they do, because there's a lot of people who, and I think that they should be done, because you have to think, like, people like, you know, us, who was alive and was younger and we watched this stuff when we grew up. There's kids that are growing up now who haven't seen that. And I think they deserve to see what we got to see, but in a more updated version to get them to watch it. Because you got to think, Dawn of the Dead. Which version did you watch first, Jacob?
What is it?
Dawn of the Dead. Which version did you see first?
I saw the 2005 version.
And that was, and we loved that.
Yeah.
But people, you know, and there was an original one that they watched before, which was
1980 something.
Yeah,
version.
And both versions are good. But we would have never known that there was an old version until we watched this remake.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, remakes are meant to bring people from a current time period back to a movie that was from a long time ago and make it good.
Just like Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes.
I first watched Hills Have Eyes, the 2002 version, and then it hit me. I'm like, oh wait, Wes Craven made a 1980 or 70 or whatever year
Red
it
Dawn.
came out.
The Red Dawn movie with,
like,
you know, Josh from Drake and Josh, who's in that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of examples. And so I think remade movies... Black Christmas. There's another one that was on the top of my tongue that I was thinking of specifically, but now it's completely gone. Oh, and well, now you have some movies that they're making TV series of, like we mentioned earlier, The Mist. You have the Mortal Instruments.
Taken was a show as well.
But so, like, there's different ways to retell these
Yeah.
stories. Lethal Weapon and everything. And I think that remakes, whether it's a TV version...
Oh, and if you guys didn't know this,
really
they're not making a sequel movie to The Dark Tower. It's actually going to be a TV series. And Jeremy, from what we read up, it said that it was supposed to take place after this movie, but it will not be the same actors. They're trying to get them, but it might not be the same actors.
Alright. Did you see 11/22/63 series? Yes. James Franco.
That was good. That was really good.
Loved that.
I've never read the book, so I can't compare. But the show, from what I've watched, it was good.
Every week that episode got added to Hulu. We were sitting in front of that TV watching it because it was something that I couldn't just keep myself from, not watching sooner. I had to watch it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I think we have enough time for just one more question, maybe?
Yeah, one more question. So,
all right,
somebody...
so anybody throw out one last question, please. Just one last one.
And while we're waiting for the last question, if you all like us doing this live, please comment some more even after the live stream is over with. Like the video. Just let us know
let us know what you feel of this show, because there's always room for improvements. This is just, like I said, me and my brother, we've been doing this since we were kids. We made up our own show. We talked about the things that we loved. It was just something fun that we did. We never, ever wanted to do it, an actual live, or on YouTube for people to watch. Yeah. It was never in our minds.
But when we both started getting into YouTube like we have, he started off with his channel separately, and I started off with mine
like
separately.
I said in my thank you video, I didn't even expect to get 10 subscribers.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show a couple videos of the things that I collect, like Stephen King books. That was the first. My latest video with the deck of cards, which, by the way, I actually bought a couple brand new cards. It's called the Autumn deck. This one's like a green version, and they also had like a pink/red or orange or whatever the color is version. So I bought 2 greens, 1 sealed, 1 I opened, and 1 open red. So yeah, but I just wanted to show a little tidbit, stuff like that. I didn't really expect to get more than 10 subscribers.
Yeah, and me, it was kind of just like I was in college. I was kind of... Well, I had another YouTube channel before that where we did Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck stuff, and I just moved out. And so I actually started doing different stuff, and so when I started this recent channel of Batman Dragon, I just kind of want to show off the stuff that I bought. And so I started, releasing, little videos here and there. And just recently, when I released the my Batman or my Xbox One video game collection update, that's really when I started feeling like I should put more, channels or more stuff on my channel. And it wasn't until I actually moved into the apartment when I decided that I wanted to do the ADP show with you again. And I wanted to do more Batman-focused stuff, because that's the whole reason the name of the channel is Batman Dragon. Because that's something that's most important to me is Batman.
Yeah.
So.
And R.L. Spooks, if you're watching, he has been guiding me, telling me, most YouTubers have just one topic for their channel, and they stick to that one. And honestly, my channel would probably grow a lot if I just did Stephen King only videos. Like, just constant Stephen King, just a Stephen King channel. I'm pretty sure I'd have way more than 216 subscribers, but this is me. I love so many different things. I cherish my collection, my Harry Potter collection in the background here. I got my wands up there. I cherish all of my collection. And I just want to make different videos for different viewers. If someone likes video games, they can watch some video game stuff I do. If they like action figures, they can see some of my action figures. That's just what I like. If you guys don't like it, you can unsubscribe. It's okay. I'm not going to get really upset, but I just want to do stuff to be entertaining to you guys.
Yeah.
And I know we're taking this way too long, but we got a funny question, actually.
We have the final question.
How do you feel that Trump blocked Stephen King on Twitter? I think it's kind of funny, actually, but I really don't like politics at all. I usually try to, separate myself from politic talk and, religion talk and stuff like that, but
my only statement
I personally thought it was kind of funny because Stephen King, he says whatever he wants to say, There's no filter with Stephen King.
So, for me, to answer that question for myself, how do I feel about Trump blocking Stephen King? The thing is, he's the president of the United States. He has to be the standard that when people think of the United States, he is our leader. He is basically our visual for the rest of the world to see. And our visual for the rest of the world to see is somebody who has to block a writer because he doesn't like his opinion. Guess what? Nobody likes Donald Trump's opinion for the most part, and you don't see 100 people blocking, his Twitter and stuff like that. For him to block Stephen King, it's kind of just like, well, whatever Stephen King had said to piss you off, he must have been right because you only blocked him to feel better about yourself. Yeah. And Katie just answered Batman versus Harry Potter, Batman.
Yeah, right.
That's the only thing that Harry Potter has ever beat was Voldemort. Come on, Joker could beat Voldemort, and I don't think Harry Potter can do anything with that one. Plus, he got rid of the Elder One, so he can't do nothing now.
Me being a Harry Potter fan, it kills me to say, but Harry Potter had to go to school to learn about his skills. Batman taught himself his
Wrong.
skills.
Batman actually went